Are you ready to break barriers, heal divisions, and bridge the gap? Because the kingdom of God is at hand. The breaker is coming to restore relationships, to realign his body, and to establish his kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. It's time to step out to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Prepare yourself to bridge the gap.
Hey, yeah.
Hey.
Woo-hoo.
What it will, what it won't.
All of that. just all of it. What's up, y'all? What's going on? We are so back.
We're back.
We are back. We
people
are here. We
love
are
to hate and hate
coming
to love.
challenge y'all once again. We just doing our job out here in these streets.
Out here in these streets, in the website streets, okay? On the online territorial streets. That's where we at.
This is where we at. Here we go. We are continuing our conversation, girl. Talking about gender reassignment. Y'all, last week it was very intense. You got to hear how people deciding to change their sex through a surgical procedure, as well as taking hormones, can really cause complications in their health, and it's extreme. It's not something to take lightly.
It's not.
And prayerfully, you all got the picture and possibly shared it with anyone that you may know that is in need of this information. Again, we laid a foundation where we are speaking the truth in love. And it's just really time for us to have those hard conversations in hopes that the presence of the Lord will make himself known, and that person or people will be drawn to him and so desire to put a pause button on continuing anything that they may have within their mind to alter the design that they were created in from the beginning. So today we're going to talk about transsexuals going through the process of female to male. So buckle your seatbelts again. And
that's all mixed up on last week. That's where I was at. And it was just so interesting, though, because when we read it together, we saw that there were so many similarities with the conversation that it actually, I was looking at some of the same things, even though I was on the one we're discussing today.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm like, oh, wait, you're not on this one yet. But wow, they're very similar. It's just heartbreaking. My heart breaks so bad when I think about some of these things that the beloved are experiencing as a result of these decisions. And it's just like, but God loves you so much. I just, so let's dive on in here, because it really is the love of God that is being shared. And for those that really need, and I believe everybody needs, but maybe everyone may not feel that they need the love of God like this, right? But I just do. And my hope, similar to yours when you were just speaking, is that the love of God will be encountered by someone today that has decided this for various reasons. And maybe they're deciding this because of they don't feel loved where they are, or they don't feel that God did this with love and intention. you
Mhm.
know, where they feel that this was some sort of mistake, that they were designed in the way that they are, that this couldn't be the plan of God. And so they've heard that so much,
Yeah.
that my hope is that hearing a different narrative
Come on.
will penetrate their hearts in such a way to be like, wait a minute, I do matter.
Come on.
Wait a minute, I am valuable.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I am loved.
Mhm.
Talk to me a little bit more about that.
Mhm.
Because I'm about to make a decision, because I don't feel as though I'm loved. I
Mm.
don't feel as though I'm valued like this. And so I want to feel valued. I want to feel loved. And I believed that this was the only way I was going to achieve that, was by doing this.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that I don't need to do this in
Mhm.
order to receive this outcome. So talk to me a little bit more.
Come
And
on.
that's where I feel we are. We're
Yeah.
here for that. And I'm just truly believing that somebody is going to be that person.
Yes. Yes. Mm.
Believe that everything we're doing has value.
Yeah.
And if we don't see it with our own eyes, or we're not in the home with the individual, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. So I'm going hard with you, sis. Like, I'm here, like, let's go. Let's have
Yeah.
the conversations. I don't care how hard they get, how raw they get. Let's do it, because
Mhm.
I believe that what we're doing is necessary, and what we're doing is impactful, and
Mhm.
what we're doing is a blessing.
Come
It
on. Yeah.
is a blessing, and it is successful. Every time we come on here, there is success in us
Mhm.
obeying the voice of God and speaking and bridging the gap,
Yeah.
sharing the various sides and making the connections. So
Yes.
for that alone, I've just learned to get so excited. Like, I
Yeah.
no longer am like so consumed with how many viewers or
Yeah.
comments. I'm
No.
just kind of like, none of that. It's like all out the window. And I'm so locked in
Yeah.
to what we're discussing, and the
Yeah.
impact that I just believe in my heart is gonna have. So yeah.
Amen. I'm
So
I'm totally on board
yeah.
with all of that, and truly the Father will receive all of the glory, and we will have new siblings entering into the faith, and prayerfully maybe we will have an opportunity to meet them. So we just want to say
Yippee.
we look forward
We
to meet
do.
you,
We
and
do.
spending time with you and talking to you in advance.
We
So,
do.
last week, like I said, we talked about all of the issues. So, let's just get right into it and start
Okay.
talking about how our beautiful young ladies and women are in a state where they need to be encouraged not to transition outwardly to reflect the character traits and appearance of our brethren.
Mm. I was supposed to look up the sound and pronunciation of this beautiful word of the dictionary. I'm going to say that. Okay. This beautiful word, that this
Woo!
beautiful medical term that is just, glorious in all of its spelling.
I just want to know, because I promise you, I'm
I
just
I
chronically looking at this thing and I'm like,
I don't want to really
Julio
jack this up, but
Foster?
I just feel the jack up happening.
Like,
I just feel like I can't possibly be saying this right, and I feel so bad. So for those doctors out there that are like, yo, they are butchering the terminology, I am so sorry in advance. I don't, and I did. I blame that on me, because I did not do my due diligence and get the pronunciation.
well, I mean, technically, PH is for.
Like pho. So I'm like, but because our beautiful English language does not always follow the proper, so I'm like, I don't know, but I'm hoping that phalloplasty or phalloplasty.
For yep.
Right.
We're
And we're not
sorry,
laughing
Lord.
because the actual procedure is funny. We're just laughing at ourselves because we
This
know
is hilarious.
that
Trying to pronunciate. I don't even know how you doctors do it,
I
first of
don't.
all. And you nurses and everyone else in the medical field, bless your whole
Life.
soul. because you know how to pronunciate
They
these
do,
words. And
and
this
they do
is
it well,
why you are the physicians and the
and we
nurses
are
and the
not.
medical assistants
Yeah.
and the certified nurses. Yeah, this is why you are in this profession. And hats off to you.
You
So we're just going to try this
follow,
thing and this
follow,
follow
follow.
filioplasty. And we just,
See,
the surgery,
yeah,
okay, risks that
risks.
take place
That's it, and complications.
and complications.
Yeah, they carry a lot of risks and a lot of complications that are probably in fine print somewhere, I'm sure, because they do need to inform you of these things before you make a decision.
Yeah,
However, I don't believe that they're highlighted enough
yeah, yeah.
for you and carrying the weight
Mm-hmm,
of what that risk is. It
mm-hmm,
seems to kind of be glossed over, and what's highlighted is, but you want to get what you want to get.
mm-hmm.
You want to have the outcome that you want to have. And so we're just going to focus on, you'll no longer have to be a man. You're going to be a woman. So that's all that matters. And let's just focus on that. And I don't want you to be deceived.
No.
These risks and complications are serious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, under that keep in mind part, right, it says different phalloplasty techniques vary in complexity and risk. Complications rates differ between surgeries, and some complication rates come from self-reported data by surgeons, which may be less reliable than the complication rates published in peer-reviewed studies. And see, we talked about that before too, because we were like, how many people are really actually saying what is happening, and do
Come
they
on.
really want it documented, or are there some areas where there's so much shame and pain and all that surrounded around the topic in and of itself
Yeah.
that people don't, and pride, that they don't even want to let you know what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a sufferer in silence.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I ain't part of
Yep.
surveys every
Yeah.
time that there's one out there, to know that I'm included in certain groups.
I've
Okay,
never
so
participated in a
me
survey,
either.
so I don't even know how they govern that and find people. But
Right. So
yeah,
imagine, I mean, that the numbers and the outcomes and how much we're actually, how the validity of it,
yeah.
it got to be skewed. There's got to be some that's missing. Lots, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure, that's missing. So this is just of what has been shared. And
Mm-hmm.
that Dr. Gabriel
Mm-hmm.
from the website, the
Yes.
follow.net, I'm still,
Yes.
that still is resonating in my spirit, what he had to say.
Come on. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
He literally said, I tell all my patients that the complication rate for phalloplasty can be 100%. There's something that's going to happen. The question is, how do we as surgeons really try to navigate minimizing all the potential issues? So they're still trying to figure that out, guys.
Mm-hmm.
How do I minimize? And wait till this is, and I don't know if you want me to start with the general surgical risk or just go deep into the common surgical or common procedure, because we're just going to start using procedure now. We're just
Yeah.
leave the word is complicated out and just say the procedure complications,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No, go
but
where you feel led to go, because all of it is relevant. And I just want to say we need to understand that because they are navigating and that these are potential risks, there is no guarantee that it will be resolved. Even when we were talking about males transferring into females, there were long-term complications and repeated surgeries that needed to take place. So I just wanted to slide that in there real quick. I'm sure it's going to be the same
it
for
is.
ladies.
It's the same for the females to males.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the list of these complications. Now I'm going to go to the common, because when I see the word common, then that means that this is on a normal basis. This is
Come on.
common unto those that are getting this procedure. In other words, expected.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I see common, this is to be expected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Urethral complications.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't need nothing complicated with my urethral. I need to be
Mm-mm.
able to, and if for those that don't understand what that function, what that organ is used for, that's how we deposit or we get rid of waste of our in our body, the
Mhm.
urine.
Mhm.
Like so you're gonna have challenges and complications with that. And what the fistulas, what did you say was the meaning of the fistulas?
A fistula is, they said that it is an opening in the urethra that causes urine leakage.
So yeah, we thought that that was only isolated to people who deal with menopause, right? Or those
Mhm.
different incontinent complications. But if you're getting this type of procedure done, this is common
Mhm.
for you to experience problems here.
Mhm.
Wound breakdown, pelvic bleeding or pain. Now, I would gather that most of us women, when we're on our menstrual, we already don't want to deal with that. And so I would imagine, okay, that's probably something you want to try to get rid of, which you really can't. But you
Mhm.
want to now change from being the female, and of course, we have that as our cycle to transform into a man.
Mhm.
But now there's added bleeding. So on top of the monthly that we can't just eradicate
Mhm. Unless you
unless we remove the organs,
unless
right?
we remove the uterus. Yep.
If we remove the uterus, then then there's no. Now, I have a question because
Mhm.
I still have my uterus, so I really don't know. But for you all that don't and
Mhm.
have had either hysterectomies and things of that sort, is there ever any possibility for spotting or any of those things down the line, or is it impossible for there to be any more bleeding, period, because your uterus has been removed?
I haven't not experienced any bleeding because it has been removed.
Okay.
Now I do still have my fallopian tubes that will assist with retaining some estrogen. Uh,
Okay.
but even though, let's say, we have our sisters that are going to go through this reassignment surgery, we still have to remember the inside is still recorded as being a female. So
Mhm.
they will still experience
Mhm.
hot flashes. They will experience a deterioration of the estrogen
Mhm.
and all of the other complications that can occur with a hysterectomy.
Okay. So, in addition to that, if they do decide that procedure or not, or if they just go with the phalloplasty,
Mhm.
you're talking about
Mm.
pelvic bleeding and pain, and that's common. Doesn't sound like that's something you can just erase. So
Mhm.
even if you did try to discontinue bleeding monthly, now you have an added element of bleeding
Right,
that you still have to contend with.
right.
So and the only reason why I'm putting so much attention on that is because let's consider what you're trying to get rid of.
Mhm,
And if you're trying to get rid of a certain thing for those that's one of their objectives,
mhm,
you're actually not necessarily getting rid of what you're looking to get rid of. You're
mhm.
actually adding on this very element that you thought you could get rid of.
Yeah.
So let I think that this helps to manage your expectations
Mhm,
greatly, because we have this expectation that this should be great after this, right? Like, I should be okay. I'm finally going to be in the body that I believe God truly meant for me to be in, and I'm no longer going to be in this shell of a thing that I can't stand for whatever the reason, right? And
mm.
now I am having the high hopes of an expectation and outcome of bliss.
Yeah, yeah.
Bladder and rectal injury,
Mm-mm.
lack of sensation. I paused that lack of sensation, just like I
Mhm,
did when you talked about that last week with,
mhm.
like, okay, isn't that the whole reason for my sex organ? Like, and I'm not, again, this is not about me trying to be funny or gross or anything, but
Right.
like, we gotta be, the rawness of this conversation
Yep.
can't be made to be cute in any kind of way. It
That's right.
cannot be pacified and fluffed.
Mhm,
The reality is, my sex organ is designed
mhm,
to experience sensation
mhm.
of some type of pleasure in addition to it reproducing.
Mm-hmm.
So if I am not deciding to use it for the intended, one of the intended purposes, which is reproducing, because
Mm-hmm.
clearly you can't do that
Right.
if you're changing and get this organ, then my only true desire remaining is for pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
And you mean to tell me that I'm not going to have, there's a lack of sensation. So where's my pleasure?
Right.
So why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
This now has made sex like some type of job that I got to try to figure out how to feel and enjoy.
Now, can I just men already struggle with erectile dysfunction,
Yes.
and it disturbs them because they are unable to enjoy the pleasure that God has naturally given to them
Mm-hmm.
without assistance.
Yes.
And that has caused some to experience depression
Mm.
or low self esteem
Yes.
because that is a part of their manhood.
Mm.
So I cannot imagine
Mm.
a sister of mine wanting to reassign their sex
Mm-hmm.
to attempt to have a penis created,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lack of sensation, even to the point of it becoming erect. That, it would seem,
Yeah.
would cause
Mm-hmm.
low self-esteem
Again,
and a form of depression.
100%. I can't imagine anyone being excited about it. Let me just
Right.
say that. If a person says, well, it doesn't make me depressed, well, it definitely doesn't make you excited, happy.
Right.
There's a level of frustration when the intended action and the intended act is not able to be performed.
Yeah.
You did all of this. You paid God knows how much money. You've gone through so many operations and transformations, and you've gone back and forth from doctor to doctor and pills and cuts.
Yeah.
And for this not to work properly, or for you there to be lack of sensation, or it's not doing what it's supposed to do, what I paid for, what I expected. And now I already was dealing with dissatisfaction for the reason why I changed to this in the first place. I was dissatisfied with the way I was before. I was dissatisfied with my makeup. So now I have transitioned, and now I get to be dissatisfied with my transition. You mean to tell me I'm not happier over here? I'm thinking I'll be happier. I'll be more successful in my endeavors of sexual activity. It's the outcome is not being achieved. So now the means are not justified.
Right.
All the stuff I did to get here, and now I'm here, and everything that I thought I would receive, everything that I thought I would experience, you mean to tell me there's a possibility that I'm not going to experience any of that? And I'm going to be worse off than I started.
Yeah.
I'm in more pain than I was in before. I've added pain when I didn't have pain.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And my heart breaks. Lack of sensation, prolonged need for drainage. So now I need to go and continually have stuff drained from where are you draining stuff from? Like, there are people who have experienced surgeries of all types of magnitude due to life circumstances, and they were just trying to preserve their life. And
Yeah.
they have had to deal with injuries and constant procedures and draining. And they talk about how daunting this task is, like how just overwhelming it is to be back and forth to the hospital and to the doctor with another procedure, and you got to remove this, and I'm getting an infection here, and this was for life preservation.
Yeah.
But you're telling, so this is a choice. This is not life preservation. This is something that I'm trying to do because cosmetically I don't like where I'm at. And so I want to, from an external standpoint, shift and change. And now I got to deal with all of this. Is it really worth it? Partial necrosis or flap loss. Necrosis is dead and death and rotted.
Yeah.
So there's rotting, there's things on my body that is rotting and becoming desecrated and dead. What? And a lot of times we read these things, we're like, okay, flap loss, next. I'm not that chick. I'm asking, what the heck is that?
Mm-hmm.
What is this?
Mm-hmm.
And listen to me. It's not a problem till it's a problem.
Come on.
I cannot stress enough how many times that I have had to put my foot in my mouth, or I have been pissed that I did not pay attention to the fine line and I did not read the fine print. I have a girlfriend who just suffered this, and she dumped all of her money into this business and she bought this truck. And I mean, she spent all of her savings. This investment was everything. The truck got into an accident. She invested in all types of insurance, but she had insurance coverage for bodily harm and all this other stuff. What was in the fine print that she did not make an account for was commercial damage for the actual truck itself. She lost everything. So the truck was considered completely, what do they call it? A loss. And the insurance did not cover the loss. And it's like, but what? I had millions of dollars for if anyone got hurt. I had millions of dollars for the product that she was transporting from place to place. Because if I'm a transportation business, then I need to ensure that my customer's product is being well cared for.
Absolutely.
But what she never thought about, and no one ever brought this up or considered that it was a very valuable and important thing to have in the contract of her insurance, was the damage for the collision itself of the actual truck.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? So somewhere in the fine print, that was not covered. And it wasn't a problem till it was a problem, because that's the one thing. The items were intact, but the truck was totaled.
Yeah.
The lives were intact. No lives were lost. All of the things that she had insured were intact. The one thing she didn't have insured was destroyed. And her entire investment and everything is all gone.
Jesus.
All the money, everything is gone. Luckily, she's a woman of God. She trusts in the Lord that she's able to overcome this and not be so distraught that she loses herself, because of this material thing. She has the proper perspective of value, and she values life more than anything, even than investment, even than money, and certainly even more than the business, that she's leaning on the understanding of God and not her own through this. But it's the reality that those small things in the fine print don't become a problem until it's a problem. And we always want to just look past, oh, that won't happen to me. It don't matter. It's no big deal. Oh, but it is. And we're not even talking about a business and just a truck or any, we're talking about your body. We're talking about something that is possibly never be replaced. We're talking about irreversible damage here. So this requires and deserves a certain amount of attention and focus than we have been given it. Dissatisfaction with penis size or shape. I'm like, okay,
ma'am. You can't even guarantee, and you can't.
My shape being what it's supposed, like, I mean, and you're the sculptor, right? Like, didn't I purchase this part? You mean to tell me you can't, my size and shape might be a problem? So we're thinking this is supposed to be cookie cutter, and most of you and most women don't even know what size and what shape should be. Like, we don't, unless you're the person on the recipient end. The person who's receiving it is the one who determines. And even we don't even know if you don't even know where you're supposed to aim. This thing is supposed to go, what it's supposed to do. You, for your whole life, you've been on the other side of the spectrum. That's what you get, what you understand. So your concept of what to do is going to be off of fantasy and off of what you call subjector. What I can't think of the word, so I'm just going to leave it out. But what you've seen, okay, and you're going to try to figure this out. There's no natural instinct of this.
Right.
You're just going to try to figure out. And I'm not saying that men don't have to try to figure it out, because they have to try to figure it out too. I mean, everybody's got to try to figure it out, but there's one that naturally has to try to figure it out. And it's unnatural for you. This whole entire function, movement, all of this is unnatural to your design. So you have those challenges alone. And now you got to deal with whether the size or shape. I was already, taking it back with the size part. But when you said the shape, I'm like, wait, well, what kind of shape? What do you mean? So there's a dissatisfaction. So I can't promise you that this shape or size is going to be right. I'm going to go for it, but you may not like the
outcome. I have nothing to add. I'm just with you, stating that the outcome of the surgery, one may be dissatisfied with. And this is why we are talking about the risks of what one can and will face.
I'm glad you said the "and will," because this is common.
Mm-hmm.
This is under the common. This is not, because sometimes they'll say, there's like maybe 1% people this happens to. But when a guy says that there's 100% chance of these complications or of some complications, there's 100% chance. And I tell all of my patients this. In other words, I'm managing your expectations from the door. And you're probably having people that are like, oh, no, don't, oh, no. Listen clearly. Do your research. Study. Make sure that what you're doing is what you signed up for real. Because a lot of people are getting stuff that they didn't even realize they signed up for.
And can I just say this?
Yeah.
While one is doing their research, please do not research from a biased perspective, attempting to justify and find research that only affirms and provides a higher percentage of a successful transition than what is actually going to be the outcome.
Right. Because, by the way, we're not even doing that, just for the record, for all the people that are watching, just so that you know, and you know that where we stand on what God has said. But our research is not one-sided. This research is that we're sharing with you is coming from the doctors that perform these surgeries, this is coming from a sites of those that are literally doing the process, and they're the ones that are informing us of what is to be expected of this process. This is not a site where these are people who are against it, and so they're just blasting it out and talking about all the horrible things. No, this is literally, it's almost like the surgeon warning that's on the bottle of the alcohol that you drink. You bought it, they're selling it to you, but they are giving you the warnings and the risks. Why? Because they're just letting you know of this is the situation. You may be well informed so that you make an educated decision. That's what this is about. Make an educated decision. And God himself is saying, I'm from a very practical standpoint, let's have a true discussion of what it is you're looking for. Because if what you're looking for, and now let me tell you what you're getting. Now, do these two actually line up?
Come on.
And because he's God, he knows that for many of you, it's not. It's not lining up, and it's not even what you desire. And he knows this. So this is the reason why he's caused us to be so focused on getting this information before you, so that you are aware of the things that are not being told to you from the person who wants your money. Or the person who wants to use you as a guinea pig for their science experiments. Because people are who are in this field love to experiment, and they love to come across new phenomenons, and
Mhm.
you're the guinea pig that's going to be the person to determine, oh, this works, oh, this doesn't work. Well, thank you for being a subject.
Listen, you know what's interesting when you said that, and I mentioned it last week about the show Botched.
Oh, you did. Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
And on there, they receive all types of walks of life, men and women that come in desiring cosmetic surgery.
Hmm.
And these doctors will refuse certain cases to say this is an unhealthy choice.
Wow.
And we cannot and will not do this surgery. They go so far as to attempt to have a real conversation with them
Wow.
to inform them that this is not something that they should pursue, because this is what will happen to the body. It's not just something that you change cosmetically, it is also a possibility that the organs will be affected.
Hmm.
They don't even touch. I have not seen one episode where they have wanted to deal with a person that wants to make extreme cosmetic changes to their body, not wanting to be their original gender and changing into another one.
Wow.
So this is how serious we all need to take this. Again, go look at Botched. You have women that go in and ask for breast implants.
Hmm.
And normally people will go in for repair because they have experienced the necrosis, getting it done from another surgeon, because the implant was put in wrong, or their skin was rejecting the implant, and therefore there was an opening of the incision to even put the implant in. So now you even need your body. See, this is this is the thing. Your body can begin to talk
Yeah.
to itself and say, this is foreign and it's
Foreign.
not
Doesn't
supposed to
belong
be
here.
here.
Yeah.
Therefore, I am going to reject
Reject
it
it. Mm.
to protect myself.
Wow. Which is its natural response. It's supposed to do that to keep us safe and
Mhm,
healthy.
mhm,
It attacks unnatural things or foreign
mhm,
objects or
mhm,
foreign bodies that
mhm,
come to preserve it. Like, it
mhm,
attacks disease, it attacks, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it's designed to do,
mhm.
to to preserve itself.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
life line of the body. It has all those capabilities. So when we start making these changes, the body itself is just rejecting the decisions that we're making,
Mhm,
because it doesn't fall in alignment with its natural design and how it has been working together and existing together since you were born.
mhm,
There were things within our body that you did not have to do anything to make it work with the other thing.
mhm,
It naturally functions. And when it doesn't, we call that dysfunction, or we call it a handicap, or we
mhm,
call it a disability.
mhm,
When something in the body is not functioning according to its intended purpose.
mhm.
And then we need to assist it in some kind of way because it's unable to function and it's handicapped.
Right.
That's what we call that.
Yeah.
So now we're intentionally making ourselves dysfunctional and handicapped and
Mhm,
disabled,
mhm,
because the body is trying to do what it's naturally designed to do. But we're saying, no, I'm trying to supernaturally, or I'm trying to recreate and shift and change all these things. And even the donor site, because I was looking at that, the donor site risk has its own plethora of issues and challenges, and that's where we're grabbing skin and grafts and all of that and tissue or whatever is needed to replace and put in another area. You got to take it from somewhere. And so you're removing it from, and I had a conversation with, I had a guy in my car who literally does this for a living. Like, he works on body parts and plastic surgeries and all of that. But he was like, I don't actually see the people. All I see is parts. I said, wait, what? He said, I'll just get a back. I said, wait, you what? He said, yes, I will get a back. And it's my job to design or pull from that back the tissues and all this other stuff that's going to be used for the surgeries. I said, well, wait a minute. The backs from, he said, these are dead people. I was done. I said, wait.
Cadavers?
Yes, dead people. And so people who, and this is not the donor site risk that I'm about to talk about here, but the donors, when you put on your license that you're willing to be a donor. So if you die, so these are people that are in accidents and they die, okay? And when they die, they are escorted quickly and within hours, so that their skin, their tissue and stuff is pulled from their body and used for skin grafting, plastic surgeries, all this other stuff. So you got somebody else is dead, somebody else who died, and they're using their tissue and their skin and all this other stuff within the process to do these surgeries.
Wow.
That's in most cases. And then there's some where they're pulling from your own body, but how much can they pull? There's some areas where there's a challenge, or maybe you have skin issues, and so they can't pull from you, or they gotta pull from you. And it's the problems that can happen from them pulling from a site on your own body to put somewhere else where it don't belong, because my tissue that's over here on this left leg was designed and grew on this left leg. It was not supposed to be on my hip or behind or my boobs. Right? So now I got decreased sensation in the area where you done stole things that were needed for that area. And under the decreased, it says some degree of decreased sensation is expected, especially in procedures where the donor site flap includes nerves, as a nerve harvest or disruption can lead to partial or prolonged numbness in the donor area. Wound breakdown, decreased mobility, hematoma, pain, excess scarring, and one of these other beautiful words of the dictionary, hypergranulation.
You did it.
I got that one. Slowing wound healing, and increasing infection risk. Adhesions, which are bands of scar tissue binding tissue together. Like,
Jesus.
And I know, again, this is like wah, 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 wah. Like, okay, and you don't, because when people start speaking and stuff and you don't understand it, we just reject it. I reject what I don't understand, and I don't want to hear. Just sign me on the line. Okay, I heard all of that. I know there's complications. I know there's risk. Whatever. Next. And we do that, and I get it, because I talked about this last week and said when we want the car or we want the house, that we just bypass all the fine print. It's too many pages, too many papers. Who cares? I did that when I was skydiving. I understood. I know I could die. I'm taking on the risk. But if I actually died, was I really ready for that risk?
Probably
if I
not.
lost my husband for real, if one of us died and the other one didn't, how was I really accepting that risk, or did I just believe that wasn't going to be my outcome? See, I just assumed that would not be my outcome, and I didn't want to focus on that. So let's just focus on what I really want and not what I don't want. And so I do get that concept. It doesn't make it right for me or healthy for me to not consider the cost. For real. I didn't consider the cost of one of us dying and not the other. I did think about, well, if we both go at the same time, okay, let's not think about going. We're going to orphan our children. Oh my God. Okay, that's not going to happen. Lord, that's not going to happen, right? Okay. See, but when the doctor is telling you, no, this is to be expected. Okay. Are you really okay with this? And we're okay, possibly, maybe even the idea of it. But the actual encounter, the actual experience of it, are you? You didn't know you were going to feel the way you feel. You didn't know it was going to be like this. You didn't know the experience was going to be like this. See, you need to talk to the people who are going through these different things and find out for real, was it worth it?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because people are asking, people are testifying even to choose God. I talk to people who have chosen him.
Yeah.
Was the decision to follow him worth it? So yeah, is it worth it for me to buy this car? You drove this car, you bought this car. What kind of problem did you, is everything good with it? I'm talking to mechanics and everybody like, is this a good buy? What kind of challenges should I expect with this
Mhm.
vehicle versus that one?
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
want to make an educated decision. Well,
Mhm.
what happens when you buy a lemon?
Yep.
I wanted to drive the car, and all I did was park it in my driveway. That was not the possible intent, was it? No, you did not buy the car to park it. I would not have bought a penis to park it. Like, what in the world? I wanted to use the penis. You mean to tell me this penis ain't gonna work? I ain't gonna feel nothing, and I'm bleeding, and I gotta go back for procedures, and I got scarring. I mean, I was already depressed. You talking about this is depressing me. I can't even imagine what it is to be that person.
Yeah.
I know that you are going through. I know that you cannot be happy in this place. I know that there are regrets of decisions that you have made. And you are sitting here saying to myself, why did I do this? And I'm telling you that even if you're in that space, that God is telling you, I love you. And I know that you've decided this. And I know you think this is the end of everything. Even in that, it's not. And for those of you that have not made the decision yet, he's saying, just give me a moment. Let me
Mhm.
reason with you.
Mhm.
Come, let's have a discussion
Mhm.
before you decide, before you jump off the cliff. Let
Mhm.
me explain to you how powerful, how valuable your life is, how much I love you and want you to love yourself.
Come on.
Love yourself enough not to self-mutilate.
Mhm.
And so because you are not self-mutilating, you gave the knife to someone else to
Mhm.
mutilate you. That
Mhm.
it's still your decision, and they cannot do it unless you tell them, go forth.
Mhm.
You may not be happy at all with the outcome.
Mhm.
So we really need to make sure that the decision that you're making is on a solid foundation. Why are you deciding to do this? What is it that's so wrong with you? Why do you hate yourself so much? The condition that you're in, the body parts that you have. Why are you
Mhm.
led to despise these
Mhm.
aspects of yourself to such a degree that you would trade it and decapitate it and replace it with something else?
Come on.
What part of your life do you feel is at stake as a result of you being who God made you to be? What part of you do you feel is invalid, that cannot produce and speak or release amazing things into this earth the way you are? Who told you that you don't matter?
That reminded me of the Bible devotional.
Yes.
Who told you? The conversation that was had between the devil and the woman. Did God really tell you that if you eat from this tree that you would surely die? And the devil said, that's not true. You won't die. And then later on, God comes in the cool of the day. The scripture says in Genesis 2 or 3, sorry, in Genesis 3. And he asked the woman in the process of the conversation, what have you done? And the woman's reply was, the devil tricked me to eat the fruit. So the devotion was, are you having a conversation? Or what conversations have you had with one that is whispering lies into your ear, attempting to get you to leave your God given position. How did we even get here? If we despise ourselves, that requires an investigation in itself.
It does.
Where is the help? Who is around you
Yes.
that can assist you in rethinking how you feel about yourself? Where's the support system? And I'm not talking about therapists. Where is your support system? Where are the loved ones? And if you have an issue with the loved ones, meaning family members, where are your friends that are also or that are not in the community or not thinking that it is okay for the reassignment surgery? Reassign. You are valuable just how you were created to be. See the value in who you are. The situations and circumstances that came along with the issue of you despising yourself can be dealt with. That can be overcame. You just need to talk to the right individual or individuals. Surround yourself with those who will truly give you the truth. The truth is actually the word of God. The truth is you accepting it and having people who love you and will walk with you and provide the assistance that you need. Don't give up on who you came into this earth as, male or female. And that was on purpose. It was not a mistake. So this is what we're just saying. We want you to love you for who you are. And if you're trying to reassign yourself as another gender, taking hormone pills, or going through the surgery, you are not loving yourself.
That's that's the heart of God.
Yeah.
That's the heart of God. I have nothing else to add to that. I think that that is just a great place to leave with the people.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yep. Just soaking on that. And we look forward, we're hoping that you will subscribe to either our YouTube channel, subscribe to the app, which can be found on multiple places under Love Broke the Chains, where you can follow the conversation. You can get more truth. You can find healing and encouragement and hope to become all that God sees when He looks at you, that you can have lies dispelled, and that the gap can be bridged, that God-sized void that we find is in our lives, He can fill. He desires to fill, and He wants to fill. But we need to be in the position to be willing and to receive and to hear. If we don't hear, we can't receive. So we thank God for raising up a remnant who are willing to go and to have the narrative and to do what it is that He desires to do for the people who He loves, They are a people who are oppressed. We are oppressed by the spirit of the enemy. We are oppressed by the narrative that is internal in our sinful nature. And God is saying, I come to set captives free.
Come on.
The question is, do you want to be free? Do you want to live in true freedom? Do you want to be connected to the lover of your soul? The one who will go through all lengths to get to you, who will sacrifice his very life itself that you might live and have life abundantly, eternally. He's worth listening to. So we'll be back here next week.
Yeah.
We'll see you on Tuesday. You guys can join our other broadcast, which is Love Speaks, where he just, is constantly speaking Rhema, word in the moment, in the season, for the day. All different types of things. He goes whichever way he wants to go. Or join us back on Thursday, where we are continuing the narrative. Today we spoke on and gave detailed descriptions of risks and complications for those that are looking to to females females to male. I believe that's what we discussed on today. Last week, you can go back to that broadcast and see where we discussed the male to female, that procedure, and the complications and risks. We are just educating you that when you're making these decisions, you're doing it from a place of being well informed. Of course, there's so much more. We can only give you, we got an hour. Sometimes if we started early enough, we got a little hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but it's a very limited amount of time and there's a lot of information. And so there's so much more. Please have deep conversations with those doctors, and more importantly, have a deep conversation with your loved ones. And then even more important than that, talk with God and ask what he thinks about the matter, because his opinion of you, man, his thoughts are thoughts of peace and not evil, to bring you to an expected end. He desires to love you, and he wants the best for you and I, and he has your best hearted interest at heart. And so that is the one who you need to hear what he has to say. So we hope that you will stay with us, that you will join us again. We thank you for joining us now. For those of you on the replay, we hope that you have been impacted, empowered, informed. And we hope that this has helped you to make a better decision. And he who wins souls is wise. So if there's just one soul that has paused, then we just give God glory for that.
Amen.
We just love you that much. We don't want to see these things take place in your life. This is horrible. And I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. It's not a desirable thing at all. And if no one should be rejoicing and excited. Oh yeah, this is what you get. This is what you ask for. No, absolutely not. This is not what God wants for you. This is not meant to be your end all and said all. So please, by all means, hear what God is saying as he's tugging at your heart, and he is just concerned. And this is the reason why he has set us here in this place. Hopefully we'll see you next week. We love you with the love of God. God bless you. Peace and shalom.
What an exceptional conversation. Love Broke the Chains is more than a ministry. It's a movement. We are called to disciple, equip, and walk alongside those seeking to leave the LGBT lifestyle and step into God's purpose. We address past trauma, abuse, and marital conflicts that may arise on this journey. To learn more about courses, coaching programs, or congregation seminars, visit us at www.lbcmovement.org. To stay connected, download our app today and join our community of empowerment. Now available on the App Store, Google Play, and Roku for the latest content, podcasts, and teachings. Until next time, continue to let the love of God break the chains.